Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today, I'm videotaping my lesson outside on my patio, and I have a great view of Mount Rainier. But if you hear noise in the background, like a siren or cars, that is why you hear those sounds. Like right now, I can hear a siren. So our lesson is going to be an informative oral retell. That means you are going to retell the information you've learned by speaking. And this is for second grade journeys, lesson 6. And our anchor text is animals building homes. So for this lesson, we're going to turn and talk, and you're going to think. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to think about your answer. Then you're going to pair up with a partner at home, or you can be my virtual partner. And then I want you to share out by speaking your answer in a complete sentence or sentences. So let's talk about fiction, which is literature, versus nonfiction, which is informational text. So literature, fiction is literature and it is made up. Whereas nonfiction is informational, it has true facts. Fiction needs to be read in order, but nonfiction can be read in any order. Fiction entertains readers, nonfiction teaches readers. Fiction uses illustrations or drawings, nonfiction uses photographs. Fiction has characters, or the people or animals in the story, and a setting where the story takes place. It also has problems and solutions. It tells a story. Sometimes animals can talk, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And back to nonfiction. Nonfiction has text features such as table of contents, photographs, heading, charts, diagrams, labels, captions, index, and glossary. So what is Animals Building Homes? Animals Building Homes is nonfiction. And again, nonfiction books teach us information and facts. Nonfiction is real. It has text features like pictures or headings and photographs, like we'd already discussed. It also has real topics, and real topics might be holidays, animals, like in Animals Building Homes, or sports. Let's review our Animals Building Home vocabulary, because when you speak and retell what you've learned, you might use some of these vocabulary words. Number 1, shaped. The form it takes, shape it takes. And notice I highlighted form because that's a synonym or a shorter version of the definition. Branches. Branches, tree parts that grow from the trunk, twigs that grow from a tree. And twigs is like a synonym for branches, and a synonym is a word that means the same. 3, pond. A small lake, a body of water smaller than a lake. Pond. Number 4, beaks. Pointed parts of birds' mouths, parts of birds' mouths. Number 5, deepest. Farthest down from the surface, the most deep. Number 6, break. Come apart in 2 or more pieces. Number 7, hang. Attach to something to the top, attach or suspend from. And finally, 8 is winding, curves one way, then another, curving. Let's get started with our learning target. So repeat after me. I can tell the main topic and key details of the text Animals Building Homes using pictures and my words. Our second learning target, I can listen and take turns when I'm having a conversation about the text. Success criteria, that means how will you know you're successful at retelling the main topic and key details of Animals Building Homes? And how will you know you're successful? By listening and taking turns when talking about animals building homes. Well, here are our steps to success. So don't worry, we'll do them together and you will be successful. I will. Number 1, answer the talk about it questions. 2, circle and say the author's purpose of the passage. 3, say and match what the text is mostly about. 4, say and match what the author wants us to learn. And finally, 5, say and match 1 to 2 detail sentences to each retelling picture. Let's go over our turn and talk rules. Number 1, if you have a partner at home, eye to eye and knee to knee. 2, first one person talks, the other person listens. 3, then the next person talks, the other person listens. So we're taking turns. Even if I'm your partner, you need to take turns with me by listening. And then when it's your turn, talking. 4, do not talk too long on your turn or your partner will not have time to have a turn. You can also decide if you agree with me or your partner, and you can say, I agree with you because, and tell me why, or I disagree. I disagree with you because, and tell me why. So here's our first detail from Animals Building Homes. You can reread about it on page 193 of our textbook. And our question is, what kind of animal is shown in the picture? What kind of animal is shown in the picture? The animal is, well, my turn. The animal is a beaver. 2, what steps does this animal follow to build a lodge? What steps does the animal follow to build a lodge? So we can use our sequence steps, first, next, then last. So what does the beaver do first to build the lodge, next, later, or then, and last? So make sure you say it out loud. Well, first, the beaver must gnaw or cut down the tree, just like in the picture. And then next, the beaver has to float the log or the tree to the pond. Then the beaver needs to put the logs together, and last, fill in the cracks with mud, with mud and grass. 2, look at this picture. You can reread about this important detail on page 196 of our Journeys textbook. What kind of home does this animal live in? This bird lives in a, so say it out loud in a complete sentence. This bird lives in a cup-shaped nest. Why do animals need homes? Why do animals need homes? Like this bird or like the beaver? Animals need homes because, well, animals need homes because just like you and me, we need shelter. We need to stay warm and protected from the outside. We need a place to rest. And overall, animals are just like humans in that way. They need shelter, because if they don't get shelter, they could die and get too cold or too hot. Number 3, reread page 202 that talks about this picture in our Journeys textbook. Number 1, describe what this animal's home is like. Describe, that means tell me what it looks like, what it feels like, sounds like. So this home is, so tell me 2 things. This home is, and how would you describe it? Well, this home is dark and it's inside the earth underground, and the gopher digs lots of winding tunnels to its burrow. There's many different ways to find to go to its burrow. How do gophers dig their burrows? How do gophers dig their burrows? Gophers dig burrows with well, if you remember, gophers dig burrows with their front paws and I believe with their snout and teeth. Here's our last retelling picture. Important detail, you can reread about it on page 205. Number 1, why might the polar bear be building a den? Why might the polar bear be building a den? So tell me, why is the polar bear building this den in this picture? The bear might be building a den because well, just like all animals need shelter, this bear might be building a den because it needs shelter and protection from the outside elements like wind and rain and snow and freezing temperatures because they need to stay warm. Number 2, how is a polar bear's den like other animal homes, and how is it different? So a polar bear's den is like others because, and it's different because. So say one way it's the same and one way it's different. Well, a bear's den is like other homes because it provides shelter and protection. It is different because it's made out of snow, which could melt if the temperatures get warm enough. So that's one way it might be different, because other homes could be built out of sticks or stones or in the dirt and not melt like snow could melt. So let's review author's purpose. We've talked about the 4 important details. So what is the author's purpose? It's as easy as pie. That's why, and pie stands for P-I-E. And we'll talk about that. Why did the author write the text? It's as easy as pie. The author wrote the text to persuade. P stands for persuade. And what does persuade mean? To convince the reader of a certain point of view, kind of like an advertisement. I want you to buy this, or I want you to believe the same thing I do. Or the author wrote the text to inform, and inform means to teach or give information to the reader. Or the author might write the book to entertain, and entertain means to hold the attention of the reader through enjoyment. And main idea. Main idea is what a text is mostly about. So to find the main idea, you can look at the title and pictures in the book, just like the title of our text is Animals Building Homes. So that pretty much tells you what the main idea is. Sometimes the main idea is in the first and last sentence. Look for clue words repeated over and over. So let's go over our retell, our informative retell, and you are going to speak it out loud, of Animals Building Homes. The first sentence says, the author wrote the text to, why did the author write the text? Either to persuade, convince the reader, inform, give information, or entertain the reader. Why did the author write the text? So say it in a complete sentence. The author wrote the text to inform the reader. It's mostly about, that's our main idea, it's mostly about, what do you think it's mostly about? Animal homes. Here are 4 details or facts that support the main idea of the passage. So it's mostly about animal homes. And now we're going to talk about the 4 details that tell us more about the main idea. Excuse me, I've got a scratchy throat. So let's look at the first picture. What did you learn from the first picture? So say it out loud. First, a beaver gnaws on a tree trunk to cut it down. Then it floats the log to a pond. It uses logs to build a lodge and fill in the cracks with mud and grass. So second, what did you learn about in the second picture? Say that aloud. Second, a hummingbird builds its nest on top of the branches of a tree. The cup-shaped nest is also made with moss and spider webs. So third, what did you learn about this picture? Say it out loud. Third, a gopher lives in a burrow. They dig winding tunnels with their teeth and paws. The deepest parts of the tunnels make great rooms. And finally, fourth, what's the fourth detail? Tell me about the picture. Well, fourth, the polar bear digs a den out of snow and ice. The deepest part of the den keeps it safe from the cold wind. So now we're back to the conclusion. What did the author want us to learn? In conclusion, the author wants us to learn about where animals live, or animal homes. So I'm going to skip over this and let's review. Let's reflect. How do you think you did telling the main topic and key details of the text, Animals Building Homes? Would you give yourself a 4? I could teach this lesson. I easily answered the questions and retold the main idea and 3 to 4 important details about the text, including what the author wants us to learn. 3, I was able to answer most of the questions and retold the main idea and 3 details of the text out loud. 2, I was able to answer some of the questions and retold the main idea and 2 details. Or 1, I was not able to answer the questions and did not retell the main ideas or details out loud. How do you think you did? 4, 3, 2, or 1? Well, boys and girls, it's been fun talking about animals building homes. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day.